Aloha my kako, what is up beautiful people? Welcome to my channel. If you are new here to this space that I'm holding to connect with self and align with divine, I'm mahalo you guys for being here, just taking time and joining me, tuning the fuck in, because that's why I'm here, is to essentially do a deep dive into truth seeking and truth speaking. I was just asked by someone like what I am, who am I, like what do I do? Am I a light or dark worker? And I feel like the question didn't really throw me off, but it was just interesting because this past week, I've definitely been, maybe a week or two, I've been feeling like as I come to this space, not literally my car, but as I come to this space that I'm holding on this channel and I record my videos, recently I've been feeling the need to connect in an environment that is more healing, that is more inspiring, that is more natural. And so it's like healers need healing. And so I've been listening to divine guidance and doing a lot of my videos in a natural environment because it's an exchange of frequencies and vibrations. And to me, I receive more peace and more healing and more restoration and renewal in natural environments. And we all do, and we all will receive healing, but some of us don't really heed the guidance, don't really heed the warnings, and we go on about our days and we kind of push off stillness and meditation and introspection. But I was asked, like, what am I? Am I a light worker? Am I a dark worker? They didn't really elaborate in the question, but it made me think, how are you portraying yourself? And right now I'm hearing authenticity. What is your authenticity? Are you being transparent with self and with others on who it is you are, truly, who you are truly? And so that's a good question to ask yourself. Not that you have to explain to anyone or to like overemphasize who you are, but it was just interesting for me to get that question because I feel like, well, I thought it was obvious, or I thought, you could tell from my videos. But in actuality, as I've been realizing within the past couple weeks, the need for more reflection and introspection and a healing environment, as I've been recognizing more parts of myself and doing the healing shadow work, I realize that sometimes I don't come off the clearest. And what's even more interesting is I've had a really good weekend. My son's birthday was actually yesterday, September 5th. And we kind of did more beach day. We were out in the sun and enjoying the water and just, again, in healing environments. But I realized that there have been some conversations between myself and close members of my family that I felt emotionally triggered by. But instead of really shying away or hiding away from my truest feelings, I really sat with like those emotions and recognized overall, I won't go into detail obviously what the conversations were, but overall I realized what it is that triggered me, the root of some of the issues that I've held in spirit for too long. And that is the ideas or the misconceptions that others have of you, or of me. I'll take I'll take this in the first person. So I've always disliked when I am myself and it's not received the best, or there's a misconception of who I am because of how I express myself, because of the words that I use and the aura that I project. And granted, I don't always have the clearest aura or the most patient presence, but that's all part of the learning process. That's all part of the healing process. And so the word misconception was just popping up very heavily within the past day or two, more specifically. Misconception, transparency, articulation, and authenticity. And I feel like when I come to this channel, I oftentimes can get distracted by the setup and the whole okay, what am I going to talk about? I wouldn't say that I'm scripted at all on this channel, and I don't come on here really planning any particular topic to be discussed. I really do try to come here and open up space for divine guidance and truth to be delivered in my messages. Whatever truth is meant to be seen, spoken, and shared. I mean that. That is authentic. But I feel like divine has been calling, not just self, not just me, but you guys as well, to really pull from the deepest parts of you, your most authentic, healed self. And another word or phrase that came to mind, that I actually did like an Instagram post just this morning, because I've been really tending to my spirit and going to places by the beach and in nature. And so water, we all know water is life. Without Hawai'i, or without water, there's not much more life that could be had. There's not much more extension on life that can be given if you do not hydrate, if you do not restore self with water. Kalamai, sorry. Okay, as I was saying that about water, my son actually wanted some water. So perfect timing to remind yourself to pause, take a break, go to your icebox, go to the store, go to the faucet, wherever, and pour yourself a cup of water. But anyway, I did this post, and the phrase that was coming up was Kayapuni ho'ola piha. So that's like your total healing environment. Like, what is the environment that you surround yourself with, or that you put yourself in? What is your current environment like? What is your current state of being like? You know, and regardless of whether you're able to physically be in nature, is your aura, is your mental and your physical and your spiritual essence and being reflective of those healing properties and elements of nature, of our natural worlds? You know, when you think of water, though, there are healing properties and frequencies that we can receive from water, and also what we gift or give to the elements around us. Elements of the natural world gift us with more life, restoration, peace, healing, and we also gift our natural world with the same healing. What are you attracting in your natural environment? What are you? Okay, Spirit's calling me to be still with my message in the moment. Clarity, clarity. Like water. We don't want muddy, murky, stagnant water. We want clear, clean, fresh, cold water to rinse and wash over us and gift us with more healing. So we have to be mindful of the environment that we put ourselves in, or that we hold, the spaces that we hold. And we have to also be aware of what we project into our environment. Are you muddying and murking up and stagnating the water? Throwing rubbish, opala, trash on the beaches? Not literally, but like metaphorically speaking, what is the energy that you are putting forth in your own environments? So anyway, I was hearing these words: authenticity, transparency, clarity, right? And healing. So lately, my videos have been in a more natural environment, and they've been me tuning in for my self-healing and sharing whatever whatever knowledge was coming in and coming forth. Not just for my healing, but for yours as well. And it made me realize something about myself as I was doing more reflection off camera. I had some very interesting and heavy conversations with loved ones, with close family members, that really made me uncomfortable and brought up some emotions and triggers that I didn't realize it would. And one of the words that was popping up quite frequently in the past day or two was misconception. Misconception. What are your fears that you're projecting in your environment that might be murking up or stagnating the waters of your life, that womb water, that flow within? What is the energy that you're holding? And for me, one of the biggest, dislikes, one of the biggest things that would irk me or trigger me or irritate me in my interactions with certain people over the span of my life, basically, has consistently been the idea of others having certain misconceptions of me. And it made me recognize that we cannot control everybody's opinion or thoughts or ideas or conceptions of us. So when you get upset by how people perceive you, it shouldn't be something that you project on them. It should be something that you look at within yourself. All right, well, they see me like this. Is there truth to it? This is a time to really reflect on your own behaviors, on your own projections, on your own mana that you're putting forth. And so we can tell ourselves day in and day out how, at peace and how harmonious and how loving and how patient we are. We can affirm these things day in and day out, but are you receiving that energy and that light that you try to give? Are you receiving that for yourself? Because if you were, you wouldn't be bothered by anyone else's idea of you, because you would be truly working on yourself and your healing and your faith and trust in divine guidance of truth. So, all right, I just want to go ahead and tune into the cards. So I have the Gaia Tarot, the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle this up a few times. And let's see what the cards have to say. Now the cards, because I actually got a, someone asking me, what are you? Are you a light worker? Are you a dark worker? As I mentioned, but it made me spark up like the question for myself. How are they confused? Don't I present myself clear enough with enough clarity? And obviously, if people have to ask, then maybe not. So what it is that I do with the cards is just use that as a physical tool and illustration for the spiritual message. Nothing complex, nothing complicated, no motherfucking bad intentions, not trying to do, spell work or this, that, and the other. This is strictly using visual tools to portray or to convey the truth. So let's see what Divine wants to speak. Right off the bat, we have 7 of Fire. Okay, so 7 of Fire is about divination, signs, heating, intuition, looking within. Are we not talking about this? Girl. This is about seeking answers. This is about the discovery, awareness, and trust. Heeding your intuition and feeling, a feeling of recognition. So this card represents the development and use of one's intuition to see the way forward and predict possible outcomes. Intuition is that gut feeling, the na'au. It is an instinctual or unconscious knowing that when you heed it, can keep you safe from making mistakes and lead you to being in the right place at the right time. And that is what I feel like we need to tune into more. Because even though we might have been doing that, there's been areas that we haven't acknowledged, and areas of self that we haven't cleared space for. And there's been misconceptions of who we are. And for some of you, that might actually bother you, like it was bothering me, and why I needed to do a little bit more soul searching and truth seeking. And that's why I'm coming here to this space to offer more truth speaking. So this is about really being observant and being aware of yourself and looking beyond the surface of the image that you're trying to portray to others. So, and being clear with who it is that you are. But you can't do that if you're not really looking within, and you're not, taking those crucial moments to interpret your personal spirit and self. So yeah, this is what we're doing. That reflection, introspection, recognizing, heeding the signs and the intuition, and really just seeking answers within. All right, mahalo kapo, mahalo kia kua. Let's see what other truths are meant to be seen, spoken, and shared about this energy that's been held within us recently, within our deepest spaces. Truth to come out and be seen. Wow, yeah, that balance of self, darkness and light. The scales need to be readjusted and balanced. Let's look into this card. This is 2 of Air. So 2 of Air is about duality, polarity, separation or unity. So this card represents both duality and polarity, and the theory that everything in creation has an opposite. Duality is a theory that 2 opposing forces come together to create a state of chaos. So in this theory, positive and negative poles repel each other. And so there's a constant and ongoing battle between the 2, where one seeks to overcome or be rid of the other. Polarity, however, is the idea that 2 opposing forces exist in all things within the universe. That divine masculine, divine feminine, as within, so without, as above, so below. So in this theory, one is just as necessary as the other. One does not exist without the other. And in some situations, depending on one's perspective, one could be even said to be an identical mirror image of the other. Consider a magnet, for example. It is made up of a positive pole and a negative pole. Without either one or the other, the magnet ceases to be a magnet. You cannot remove a negative half from the positive half, because there's no half of one and half of the other. There's only the whole. And if you were to divide a magnet in 2, all you would succeed in doing is one of 2 things. You would create 2 separate magnets or destroy the magnet. So, very, very interesting. This card offers a choice between 2 paths. You can choose a path of dichotomy or one of integration. One offers conflict and the other offers peace. And I feel like that's exactly the issue that's been coming up lately with self, with myself, and possibly for some of you out there, is that there's been a contradiction and there's been a confliction within. And it's really about seeing both sides, seeing the different parts of self, exposing that, and recognizing that there has to be a balance, not a separation. There has to be a union in order for there to be a wholeness of self. And so thinking that, you are this light, this patience, this love, this healing being, that's half of it. But you also have these moments where you may not have been at your highest vibration. You may not have given words of life or spoken words of life. And in recognizing yourself, you may not have been as much of a healing force as you try to come off as. So let's look more into this. I'll pull two more cards then are coming up. And this one came up as a blockage to our inner healing and our seeking inner wisdom and our intuition and divination. But in reverse, I see this as a blockage. So this is card number 23, integrity. So it came up in reversal on our divination card. So let's see what this has to say. This is a long one, a long passage, but I'm just gonna read what I'm compelled to read. First off, with this particular card, if it was upright, is indicating integrity, honesty, honor, character, values, morality, sincerity, consistency, principles, fairness. And this card is the 7th of the influence cards. It represents making choices and acting with honesty and honor. But being that it came in reverse, let's see. The blockage that is indicated, or that appears, is cautioning us against hypocrisy and contradictory behavior. Exactly. The duality that pops up, the inner struggle, of who we are and what we're portraying. Don't pretend to be one way, but you are another. The authenticity, the clarity, the transparency, right? Acknowledging who you are and the shadows that you have and the misconceptions that are brought to your attention. They trigger you because you don't want to be seen as something that maybe you are. You don't want to be seen as having these certain issues that maybe you have. But it's the shadow work. It's actually putting in the work to balance self, center yourself, align yourself. And so this coming up as a blockage on the basically soul searching, seeking wisdom, divination, healing card is indicating that, you might have been in denial. Have you at some point condemned others for their intolerant and judgmental behavior and done so without the awareness that you yourself are embracing the very behavior for which you are condemning others? So maybe judgment has been something very, very heavy. With your words, they might come off pretty, they might come off positive, they might come off as healing and encouraging and inspiring and light. But what are the intentions behind your words? I'm feeling like I'm talking to someone specific right now. I don't know who, but I feel like for someone tuning in right now or a cross watcher, you've been the type of person that has tried to come off innocent and very, very healing and inspirational, but you are very aware of why you speak certain words, and it's not with the best intent. I'm hearing like you say things double-handedly with double meaning. It's really weird. It's like that person that says, oh, you have a blessed day, but really in the back of their mind they're like, oh my god, you're so fucking annoying, like get the fuck out of here, I can't wait till you get out of my face. But all you heard was, oh, have a blessed day, have a good day, but you didn't hear their intent behind the words. So I don't know, that's what's coming to mind from spirit. So let's see. Have you declared yourself supportive of worthy causes, but then in practice acted in a manner that contradicts? Exactly. This is just really interesting energy because I'm feeling like it's shifted, not so much about me, but it's the truth has worked through me and my own reflection of the environments that I've been keeping and the healing that I've been doing to kind of speak to someone in particular right now that might either watch me or watch you and how you move and how you flow through your life. So this is sort of a wake-up call on self and hypocrisy. So yeah, we're talking about this integrity card in reverse. Again, here's some more information that's popping up to me. I might just read this whole last passage. It says, have you ever declared yourself supportive of worthy causes, but then in practice acted in a manner that contradicts? For example, you're passionate about your desire to reduce deforestation, so you choose to become a vegetarian because the meat industry is one of the leading causes of global deforestation. However, you continue to support unsustainable agricultural practices, buy books, newspapers, and magazines, and use technology that is fueled by mining. Yes, it is a worthy and noble act to choose to limit one's impact upon the earth. But if you choose to condemn and judge others for their lifestyle choices, take a moment to make sure you are consistent in your beliefs and actions across all aspects of your life, lest those you condemn call you out on your hypocrisy. And that's what I feel like I'm doing for someone. It's like, yeah, you be trying to fucking act like you got the word and you got the sauce, but you know what you're coming forth with. You know what your intentions are, and you know the double-handedness or the undersidedness or the insincerity or the hypocrisy within your words and your actions. When you criticize others for not doing as you do while your actions are contradictory and inconsistent, your desire to act for moral or ethical reasons can appear sanctimonious and designed to make you appear morally superior. Those who live in glass houses should not throw stones, and we all live in glass houses. Every single one of us. Okay, so definitely this is a period of reflecting, and again, that Kayapuni Ho'ola Piha is that total healing environment. What is the environment that you are in and that you are being? And then this next card, emotion and intellect. The balance between the two. Emotion and intellect. Water energy. What is the vibes, your water? What is the frequency that your water or your cup is holding? The chalice of truth that you hold within. What is the frequency of the water? Is it murky? Is it muddy? Is it stagnant? Is it dirty? Is it stank? Is it rancid? Or is it clear and cool and refreshing and healing? Crystal waters. Let's see. Let's look into this one. Yeah. So this card is about balancing and realigning. This addresses any emotional disharmony that may be influencing your choices and environment. It also represents the need for us to see the whole and how an imbalance can affect it. And what do we get? Yeah, to see the whole, how two halves make a whole. The integration and not the separation. The polarity and not the duality. So this is really evaluating those emotional triggers that we've been hiding, that we haven't been addressing, that we haven't been transparent with or clear with. Because apparently, people got questions. Who are you? Who are you, darling? Who are you? This is about love and fear. How many times have you heard someone say that a choice or action was made from a place of fear, or was born of a person's insecurities and doubts, or was born of love? When we are attacked by others, we may react and retaliate because we are angry and afraid, which was the reflection that I was kind of coming forth with earlier in this video, where I was like, I was having some conversations with close family members that made me really look at self and do some introspection and some reflection, because those were emotional triggers. So maybe you guys as well need to hear that. When we're attacked by others, we may react and retaliate because we are angry and afraid, but we may also act because we have love for ourselves and wish to address an injustice and prevent further injustice. Injustice to self and injustice to those that are in our immediate environment, that are affected by our waters, our emotions. We may choose not to take a risk or make changes in our lives because we are afraid of an unknown future. But we may also choose not to take a risk that may alter our lives because we love the life we already have. We may be plagued with doubts, but we can also be blinded by love. So there's so many things. It's that balance between the emotions and the mind. What motivates our actions the most? Fear or love? The truth is that most of our actions are motivated by both in equal measure. Fear and love, like creation and destruction, cannot exist without one another. They can even appear to be the same force, depending on one's perspective. So yes, this addresses the subject of suppression, suppressing certain emotions, and expression, expressing certain emotions. Suppressed emotion can lead to illness. Emotional stress can manifest in the form of depression, anxiety, high blood pressure, inflammation in the body, and in turn, dis-ease. There can be real and life-threatening consequences to suppressing fear, anger, sorrow, and other weightier emotions, which is why I needed the time and the space and to place myself in environments of healing, to cleanse out, to use the vai, the water, to cleanse out those shadows, and to really get to the root of those emotional triggers and traumas that were coming up in personal conversations. So yeah, this card does not suggest that life is meant to be lived on an even keel. Life will always offer up moments that will have thus shouting for joy, or conversely, suffering in silence. But if you express instead of suppress, you will move through life with more ease, as opposed to living a life of dis-ease and suffering. So it's better to be proactive and mindful when it comes to your emotions. Never ignore them. And so that's definitely, okay, mahalo kapo. That is definitely what I've been feeling needed to be expressed, needed to be spoken today. So I'm going to go ahead and tune into my Earth Alchemy Oracle cards real quick and just get an overall card for collective. The healing message of today. And I feel like water vibes for some reason is coming up. I'm tuning into water. Well, obviously that was the flow, that was the theme, that's the cleanse, that's the clarity and the transparency and the healing. But for these particular cards, I'm feeling water. So let's see what Divine wants to speak to us. Overall truth that needs to be seen. Mahalo nui. And look at that. Dioptase and larkspur. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. But this is about past life healing. And of course, the elements that we're looking at to help shift and to heal within us is that water and air. Letting go of anger. This is about forgiveness. Do not hold on to those emotions that weigh us or suppress us. Because when you hold on to that, you're met with the dis-ease, you're met with the imbalance, you're met with the hypocrisy of your truth-seeking and wisdom and intuition, right? Letting go of anger, forgiveness. And then the next card we got was Pearl and Larimar. Another let go card. Wow, 2 in 1. So this is for somebody very, very specifically hearing this message of letting the fuck go. Stop holding on to energy and shadows and expressions that are negative and that are emotional and that are triggering and that are, creating this duality energy within. This conflict, contradiction, jealousy, butting of heads, or just a separation ideology. All right, so Divine's telling me it's time to wrap it up. Phone is acting up. So yeah, Pearl and Larimar is the water energy of surrender, release, releasing those patterns and the triggers, and also speaking to our Pleiades vibes, energies, frequencies. So yeah, let me get one tarot card to wrap this message up. One final card to close up the reading. Just dive into truth seeking. It needs to be seen. Wow. Okay. Wow. We have the Temperance and the Justice card. More faith, more trust, more patience for what is to come, the lessons to be learned, the balance to be restored, the healing, right? Justice is that restorative balance, and we got a lot of that with the polarity duality card, this 2 of air. And again, 2 is like the 2 sides. But yeah, having patience for the balance and the healing that is to occur. Letting go of our anger and the forgiveness that helps to restore when we release what doesn't serve us, when we let go of the patterns and the triggers and the traumas of our emotional suppression. All right, so I will leave you guys at that. Chew this over, think this over. Go find a quiet spot to be still and just receive the message. So I trust that you all will have a beautiful day full of reflection, restoration, renewal, and I trust that it is plentiful, abundant in more patience, compassion, empathy, healing, and wellness, strength, and love. So with love, light, and always aloha.